comes out of nowhere because they're just amazingly talented players, honestly. That's all it is.
So do you think it's more a question of individual skill? Of course, they're amazing as a team, but do you think it's more of a fact that when it comes down to it and they're in those set moments as their own sort of, in their own one-on-one situations or 1vx situations, that's what really pulls it through for them?
Yeah, they have grace under pressure, and it shows, and that's why they always perform. The French players are amazing, honestly.
Talking about amazing players, a guy that you were very complimentary about last night is your teammate, JDM. He had a pretty good tournament. What are your thoughts on your team and maybe other individuals or him? Like, just talk a bit on your team.
I mean, everyone's been stepping it up lately. I won't speak for myself, but Josh, man, or JDM, when he rejoined the team, man, he's been fragging hard, and he's made a big impact, especially in our overseas tournaments. And Finesse has stepped up his role big time now that he's lurking. That really helped too.
Yeah, JDM, so are you happy with how you did at this tournament? And what are your thoughts on how you guys did overall?
I mean, we took a map off of Navi, so I'm happy about that, but I would like to get out of groups. That's the main goal.
In going forward, like I mentioned to Tarek, you know, what do you think you guys could do differently? Maybe what could you change to bring you guys to the next level and, you know, potentially beat teams like Na'Vi?
I think what he said is exactly what we need, and I'm looking, forward to that because I think something big is going to happen pretty soon.
Okay, interesting. Tarek, overall then, this event, just as a spectacle, what do you think of the stage? Like, we've got the pyrotechnics going on, and just everything is looking pretty intense. Like, are you happy with the way everything's going?
It's amazing, and I'm glad we can be a part of it.
Sweet. Well, I think that's all we've got time for now. And, these events would not be possible without sponsors, and we are going to take a look at an amazing app by The Score Esports.
Na'Vi are coming derailed in this final on train. EnVyUs have been brilliant, doing the unthinkable, taking a one-map lead here. They are within touching distance of the major. I'm your host, Richard Lewis, over here at the Intel Analysis Desk, and joining me to pick this map apart, we've got Duncan, Thorin Shields, Natu, and Fiflaren. Well, guys, there we go. So even you were like, well, Na'Vi are going to get train, even though you think EnVyUs are going to win.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of EnVyUs' best performances on train.
That performance had nothing to do with special aptitude for train. They haven't learned something different. They didn't come with some unique tactics. That's just how good EnVyUs is, because that is one of Navi's best maps.
Yep.
And that is absolutely one of the worst maps for EnVyUs. And yet somehow they've edged a win on it. So that's just being a world championship, an elite level team that you can do that.
Yeah, I think that's a very assessment to make, because a lot of these rounds, especially on T side, it was basically just individual skill from the players that produced them. They created opening kills. I didn't really put up a statistic on it, but it felt like every time Envy managed to get the first kill, they also managed to get the second kill of the round, and it was pretty much over at that point.
I'm just going to quickly bring up statistics. We've got about 5 minutes here before the final is going to get back underway for Florence. So who stood out for you? I mean, it's got to be Kenny S.
Kenny S stands thieves for me, for Na'Vi. I mean, at the first half of the game, Guardian was nowhere to be found. And that was the thing that I was scared about, especially on a map like Train. You have to have your operas show up, because, yeah, they got 6 rounds on their T side, switching over to C side. It actually looked good. They had the game, they had the map in their hands. But then all of a sudden, the Envy just tapped the button and, they showed up and ended up winning 16-14.
I mean, Seized is in one of those situations. We've seen a few players in this over the course of the tournament. Drops a great performance, again, doing what he does, consistent. His team just didn't turn up to help him, and there was a couple of people who fell off a little bit. Flamey's level of performance a little bit disappointing, and as you say, it took Guardian a while to get warmed up, even though he was coming in with the hot hands.
It was a close map. I mean, the thing was, I think that early on EnVyUs did just enough that they allowed themselves a little bit of a cushion where they could afford for Na'Vi to come on strong, because when Na'Vi started their CT half, they were rolling, and it looked like they're going to have a real chance at this, actually, because the map is so much like that. Like, if you can get a good T half like they had, numbers-wise, they're so strong on CT, they had a chance to win. And you saw, in many ways, it looked towards the end like maybe they were going to win. But the clutches went the way of EnVyUs. EnVyUs was able, somehow, to a degree, to neutralize Guardian. He neutralized himself a little bit, but it's kind of hard to say what it is, because on one hand you think, well, you only lost by a little amount, it was a great performance by Siege, you should be able to feel confident if you're Na'Vi, but that was your best chance to win a map, and even then you still got edged. So
But it was a very small margin. Me and Nat was talking about it. The round that Kenny has saved this op was the op that he ended up getting kills with the next round.
We've got
they
a
were chasing on it.
quick clip to run. Duncan knows a thing or two about being passive-aggressive. What we saw here with EnVyUs was the way they switched up their passive style and their aggressive style. Talk us through this, Natty.
Yeah, I mean, this was my issue with the way EnVy was playing. The first, they went on a 7-0 roll, basically because of the fact they were clutching to Kenny, basically, was winning them a lot of those rounds. It took them all the way to round 13 before we saw this aggression from them, that they really disturbed with the attack from Na'Vi, and that's when Na'Vi was in trouble. Before that, EnVy wasn't using their grenades, even in a manner that they should have when they play as passively as they do, especially inner side. It was just like a freebie for Na'Vi to go in there.
Fifth Lauren, I'll bring you back in as well. I mean, it was really close. Is there any sort of defining factor you feel that really separated the two teams? Something that was really noticeable?
Yeah, the EnVy's Opera showed up and Na'Vi's didn't.
There was also a certain grenade that I think really turned the game
Well,
around.
That was.
It's small margins, right? So you had two scenarios, I'd say. Having Kenny has saved it up when you ended up dying 2 of your own, and he obviously got to keep it, and that happy Snake to win that clutch is like, that's something you're just going to be pissed off about.
Seized did his level best. We got a clip of him here doing what he does. Again, Nadu, take us through.
Yeah, I mean, just great. This is the typical Na'Vi style that we were doing. They would just be faking air, they were faking out a little bit, and Seized actually just noticed there's a moment for him to go outside, and this is just him going nuts. The bomb is rotating from the inner bomb side to the outer, and they win this round that really wasn't going in their favor at all. Just basically because Seized was going nuts.
Now, I think where he is in the final, we've heard Guardian say, the team's been raging at each other. They had some very close rounds. They lose 16-14, unable to force the overtime. There is some frustration there. You can see it on the looks of their faces. Psychologically, is this going to put them on tilt?
Luckily for them, in their own minds, even though to me, EnVyUs are monsters on Cobble, Na'Vi should know it's still a strong map for us. We're still good on it. So if they really thought they were going to win this series anyway and that they were capable of being EnVyUs, that shouldn't have changed. So I would think, from knowing a lot of the players in their team, they'll still think they can win on Cobble. The big problem for me is I feel like whereas EnVyUs has just pipped them on their best map, this is going to be an EnVyUs map. So I think they're going to be up against it, and they better get a good start.
Yeah, we've got another clip. This is Happy. Doing a clutch. Happy had a good performance as well, it's got to be said. Talk us through it now.
Yeah, money was tight at this point. It's basically the turning point. I mean, this is a vintage Happy kind of a performance coming out of nowhere, winning this kind of situation where you thought, oh my god, it's going to be over with, and Na'Vi is going to scrape through this, but no, here comes the money nade. Boom.
And again, it just shows what we talked about right at the top of the show. There's a smoke down there. He's played that intelligently. He's completely aware of where everyone is, and obviously been able to clutch out. What about his level of performance overall?
I thought it was a great part of, especially their T side. I mean, CT side so, but T side, he was the guy a lot of the times when Kenny was getting the opening kills. He was the guy making it to 5-3 right away after, and that was like it was a bit of a Virtus Pro moment for them when they got those 2 kills and then just swarm out of bomb side afterwards. So I thought it was great on T side.
Yep. So Fifth Lauren, we have appointed an MVP for this map. It's Kenny S. So he's one step closer towards exorcising those demons from Cologne. Just talk about him in general on this map.
No, but it's a good thing that he actually showed up, because most of the times when Kenny has had issues in the grand final, it was when the close games, close maps, maybe even leaning on maybe the third map particularly. He's always going to be good on the first map, I'd say. It doesn't matter if it's going to be overtime, even if there's a stomp. this is the Kenny that we want to see throughout the series, not just throughout the first, just not just for just the train. But overall, yeah, very solid performance. I was very quite happy about it.
Yeah, the biggest reason why EnVy went on that 7-0 roll in the first half, he was clutching rounds, and if that wouldn't happen, I feel like Na'Vi would have probably won train.
That's a good example of where the play that sticks in your mind is the happy nade, is to win that, because that really turned it from being like a game that could have been overtime. But the reason they were in a position where they could even do that was because this guy they rode Kenny S to the 7-0 start. Yep. And if you can get a 7-0 start when you're not a good train team, you at least in with a shout. So yeah, I agree. He was the MVP of that map.
So we got 90 seconds left, and then we're going into the second map, which of course is going to be Cobble. You seen anything that makes you want to change predictions, change your mind?
No.
EnVyUs is just so good.
I mean, it might be a 2-0 now
yeah.
instead, because I was kind of rooting for Na'Vi to actually win train, and if EnVy can even beat Na'Vi on arguably one of their best maps, and almost their worst map, just look at Cobble now. Sure, Na'Vi's not a bad team on Cobble, but I just don't see this happening.
All right, well, thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. Na'Vi are certainly up against it. Without any further ado, we're going to go over to the casters. It's Super Semler and award-winning Anders.
Make some noise, Romania. It's going to be the second map coming up now. Cobblestone here between Na'Vi and EnVy, and we're in the grand finals here of Cluj-Napoca, the CSGO Major Championship. And right now, a lot of pressure, all of the pressure you could say is going to be on Na'Vi.
I agree, although you just mentioned it, Anders, in the break. Kenny, this is the time in the finals of the last major that he choked on this map, hit one of his worst performances ever on LAN, and he had it in the grand finals. I was saying, though, just a little bit of a different situation this time, considering EnVy, they're up 1-0 in this best of 3. They just need this map to take the title, and this will be the first major title for Apex and Kenny. So all of the pressure is also on EnVy to actually seal the deal, close the map, take the title right here.
It's absolutely true, although you have to imagine that Kenny will have built some sort of mental barrier between what happened then and now, especially with the first map win here. But you are absolutely right, that was a horrendous performance back then. And I mean, tears were shed. It was awful personally for him. A really, really, really hard map loss there. Probably blamed himself for a very long time. I think he's here today to show that a lot has changed. It's going to be starting right about now with EnVy on the terrorist side and Na'Vi playing the CT side here. Let's see what they can get up to. It's Kenny, a little bit of a smoke here. Happy, rocking the Raid Boss build with a Tech 9 and armor combination. And again, to catch everybody new up, that Tech 9 is a very powerful tool. With the armor, you won't get aim punch. The only thing that will take you down quick is a headshot from a USPS or a P2000 there. So as long as you don't get headshot, you're probably going to win that fight.
And already Guardian boosted up, looking for that headshot, and it's Apex who lands it first. There's your starting tone. EnVy go for the pop flash, gonna drop as well. They're hunting for Flamey, and Apex has been unleashed. 2 kills for him to start things off, but Edward is doing work as well. Apex, a 3rd kill for him, and he's on the way to the ace. If he can get it again, he gets a quad, and now it's just gonna be down to Seized. What got into Apex during that break? What have they told this guy?
I have no idea. The Tech 9 comes into play at the end, but that quad kill was insane. And a very nice spread out from EnVy as well. Everyone just didn't just run onto the bomb site. They all spread out across that whole bomb site and in the middle as well. Very hard for Na'Vi to make a rotation in. And the CT side here, look at the response. All armor on everyone, 3 deals and 2 5.7s. So Na'Vi ready to fight early on here. And we got to remind you as well, it is EnVy's map pick here. Na'Vi, they barely lost it on train, which means now they've got to play even better than they did there.
And Guardian taking a little bit of nade damage here, but that is uplifting if you're an EnVy fan to see Apex get such a strong start. For me, he's practically more important than Kenny. He decides the pace for EnVy. He's the one who's the first man into the site, and if he can get headshots like this right off the bat, it's looking real good for the Frenchman. So he's gone straight up to that AK rather, going off of those kills that he got in the pistol round. He's going full equipped, whereas the rest of his team, they're kind of skimping a little bit. They're playing around the SMG game to get a little bit of bonus money going into this next round. Na'Vi, though, they haven't really got too much going for them so far. Guardian has taken a little bit of damage to begin with. A bit of a focus on the B side, although as I say that, they're starting to rotate a little bit back towards A Na'Vi. So if EnVy, they pick this time to push, it's going to get nasty for the Ukrainian mix.
Well, and there's NBK with the scout of all weapons, actually going to be picking off Guardian on the plateau over by B. Edward there, taking a bit of a prolonged fight, and Happy turning around. He's going to end up going down, but NBK shooting right on the shoulder of a teammate, and actually maybe even wall banging through there. Could have hit Kenny. Seized hiding in the corner, looking for a shot. And Kenny going to pick up the double kill with the SMG as well, only losing Happy in the mix.
Yeah, so bonus money for Kenny. He's going to be perfectly capable of buying his AWP when the time comes. No worries at all for him. They're actually going to hold on to the SMGs as well because they know that after that force buy, Na'Vi are going to be going for the hard eco here. Although, as I say that, quad HE's picked up from Na'Vi. So are they going for the hard plateau counter here, Anders? Do you think they're going to just try and chuck these in and catch Envy off guard?
Yeah, I could definitely imagine that. What I hope they'll do is wait. I hope they don't just run in and throw them. I want them to just wait until Envy actually show themselves. If you throw them straight away, it is just a, and they will be waiting over there. If you just throw them as you run in, which a lot of teams have done, which has always been really annoying to me, it's just a completely blind thing to do. You have no idea if it's going to work or not. At least here you can wait.
And this is wild. Happy's managed to completely infiltrate the back line. He gets right through connector into the A site, doesn't spot anybody, and so he's telling his teammates, well, I haven't seen anybody yet. Now he spots 1 and 2, so they have an idea of what's going on here, Envy. They now realize perhaps that Na'Vi have stacked that B site. Na'Vi went for the gamble, and now it's going to be Na'Vi instead setting up to try and actually pick off a couple of the over-enthusiastic Envy members, although Kenny finds that point-blank headshot on Flamey.
Well, Zeus going to be taking down Happy. At the very least, they've done some damage here. The HEs have all been used and already done too much damage either. And it does seem like Envy are backing off just a little bit from the aggression here. They maybe don't want to run into that fortress of Na'Vi members that are right on the other side of the map here.
Yeah, they do actually have Apex lurking out more towards T-spawn to make sure that anybody can't come backstabbing in from Na'Vi through the halls. So they really have found their way out, Envy, to hold on to their gear going into the next round. And Kiyoshima doesn't really care if he dies or not. He has that UMP. It's not a big investment on his part. If he gets a kill off, that'll be perfectly fine. And he's looking for that extra 600, but decides to play it safe. Wants to hold on to the Kevlar and the smoke nade that he's got right now. So far, so good for Envy. The Frenchman off to a tearing start here.
Those pyrotechnics there, I mean, we're actually sitting some distance away from the stage, and I can still feel it shaking on the table here. It's quite impressive. Wonder exactly what it's like if you're on the front row there in the audience.
Oh, yeah, man. You're getting a bit of a tan going, I think.
Yeah,
you feel that heat.
All right, AWP picked up on Kenny. We saw what happened on Train. He was very good indeed. Ended up top fragging on the Envy team. Let's see if he can continue on this path as well. Na'Vi, their first buy round here, and it's very important they get a lot out of it. Flamey wins that fight against Apex, but now come the rest of Envy and ABK. He opens up on 2. It's Edward and Flamey going down immediately, and that gives control of the bomb site to Envy. Happy coming up from behind and shooting Zeus in the back. And now, well, a good swift kill there might just give a chance for a retake.
Absolutely, especially if Seized wins this fight versus Kenny long range. Kenny, oh no, it's NBK who gets the headshot through the doors instead. And with 1 HP, Guardian walks dead on into the crosshairs of Kenny. You can see the frustration on Guardian's face there. He was hoping to be the hero. He knew that Kenny was tagged low and that NBK couldn't have much health either. It was entirely possible for him to pull off that 1v2. Like, Envy not having any of it. And what a quick, I mean, this is that one, we're talking about the 1-2 combination punch of Apex with the rifle and then Kenny coming in with the op, but NBK is always right there behind Apex. That's how Envy are so powerful, is just the fact that that double rifle, Apex takes the 4, but then NBK is there for the cleanup duty, and that's a clear example, that last round, of how that works out for Envy.
Oh, nice shot from Flamey, taking down Happy. No entrance there in the drop. He's spamming away with a deagle, and he actually hits 2 bullets, but it's not enough to get any kills there. A bit of a shame, but now they're all rotating in. If they can get here quick enough, some of these pistols can actually be lethal. Edward still has his pistol, and he was, at least formerly known as the pistol champion. Guardian goes down. Flamey Zeus next. Edward going to be alone, and Kenny cleaning up with a triple kill. That's going to be it, not taking any damage at all either, so... Quick start here for Envy, 5 rounds in a row, and now finally Guardian will have his own AWP.
Oh man, and this is scary if you are Na'Vi. Na'Vi have 8 frags total. Kenny's at a reverse James Bond again, and NBK sitting on 7-1-1. Just between the 2 of them, they're at 14.
Agent Kenny.
I mean, he is unleashed. This is the exact same start that Envy had on Train as well. So Na'Vi right now, they need to hold on. They need to come up with something big in this round. Really just slam Envy, stop them cold. And Apex running in, but he still gets the headshot on Flamey. Flamey had everything he needed there to get that first kill.
Good shot from Zeus. Edward now up in the plateau. Flashbang comes through. Kenny, he goes down as well. And Edward, he can shoot them in the back. He has no idea where they are. He goes for the fight. And Kiyoshima's going to go down, but he's still alone. Jumps in with the knife out. No chance. NBK shutting him down with a double kill of his own. And that will make it another round here for Envy. And this really highlights the exact problem you have playing against Envy when you're on the CT side. They are so quick. At the first spark, they just keep going. There's no stopping them. They just charge in.
And we can see it, Na'Vi. They're taking a big risk here. I mean, we expect to see a few more T rounds on Cobble these days, so it's not the end of the world yet for Na'Vi, but they go for the force buy. And so no AWP here for Guardian. Limited nades to work with, so if Envy were to go for the aggressive all-out play, there wasn't much there for Na'Vi to stop them. Instead, Envy, they're expecting some kind of quasi-buy. That's why they're trying to slow down a little bit. They don't want to run into some weird pistol kind of situation. What is going on here?
They're walking right past them in the smoke. Flamey trying to get out. He gets a shot with the Max 7. And there's Apex going down to the UMP of Guardian. So complete chaos over the drop zone. Cease is going to be spraying down one, but NBK with the refrag is least. Still a 2 versus 4. Na'Vi should be winning this round. There's a lot of time left still for the Envy team to make this one work, so got to be a bit careful.
And Flamey's been, or Guardian rather, has been spotted. Edward is holding the line. NBK's there with the headshots. NBK is doing work. He's got 3 kills. Make that 4. Single-handedly doing the job. Na'Vi now, it's all on Zeus. He walks into Kenny, and it's going to be the 1v1 clutch situation. Can NBK pull off the ace and keep Envy on top, or will Zeus come through as the hero? No, it's not meant to be. NBK with the headshot. 5 kills and a 7th round on the board for Envy. What a monster.
Right, and here we see very, very clearly just how much pressure Na'Vi are under. They have a 2 versus 4. They know the bomb is not even attempted to be planted yet, and they can continue to run in and fight, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. They should wait for everyone to be there. This one person at a time fight for Na'Vi is a clear indication that this team is under a tremendous amount of stress here.
And, you know, Envy love this, right? They love playing pinball all day, Anders. Tilts all day. Na'Vi right now, they're in the process. They are losing control, and they're going for another force buy here. So again, no AWP for Guardian. Limited on the nades. NBK is removed immediately, though. Great spray there by Zeus, and he's still alive. Takes out Kenny and Apex just a little bit late. This is a great situation now for Na'Vi. They have everything going their way, and it's going to come down to the lurker now. Happy finds one. Could get a second, but it's not meant to be. Edward is there to take him out, and Na'Vi, I mean, these are such chaotic rounds. It's so hard to see which way it's going to break.
Well, they're very, very important mentally for Na'Vi as well. This is a round where they have next to nothing and they still make it work. I think Edward getting 2 of those shots with the Max 7. So, I mean, jumping as well. Really, really good stuff. So 9 rounds into the game and they finally get into a situation where they can actually do something.
Sweet Jesus, NBK sitting on 14 kills already. We're 9 rounds in and the guy's got 14 kills. This could be one of those legendary performances from NBK where he just takes control of a map single-handedly. This is it. Sees the start. Double kill for him. And well, now, I mean, Na'Vi, at least they have something going for him. Man advantage. And Guardian with that AWP, he can hold the line. He's going to be rotated in. He's already on the site. 3 players here for Na'Vi, actually. And there it is. Guardian wins the duel versus Kenny. Flamey spots out Kiyoshima. Kiyoshima going for the long spray, but Happy's there for the backstab. Guardian, though, is going to be the line. You shall not pass. He holds it. 2 kills for him in the round. And now we might actually see Na'Vi start to get some momentum going their way. This means that Envy have to tap into that bank 2 rounds in a row. But then again,